Welcome, Marta Valle here with PasspaltFloridaHomes.com, powered by MVP Realty. Today I'm here with Mark Fein, a mortgage loan originator of Cross Country Mortgage. Thank you so much, Mark.
Good afternoon, Martha.
Mark is right in Ave Maria. He's been an Ave Maria resident for how long already?
Since 2015.
Wow.
And I'm an AMU grad as well. So
Awesome. We wanted to talk about today's market and what options buyers and sellers have with our market. What is the current interest rate, Mark?
that's a great question. So rates have risen significantly, as I'm sure you're aware. Your average 30-year fixed mortgage is in the low sevens right now, which is more than double what they were a year ago.
Wow.
So it's a significant change in a year.
Yes. Yeah, I notice a lot of my buyers think like, oh, the interest rates have gone up so much, so they prefer not going ahead and looking for a home and maybe renting instead. So what are some options they could maybe look at for financing?
Sure. So one of the things that's become popular this year is many buyers are choosing to pay points, which is paying points is an upfront fee you pay, an extra fee to buy down the rate for the 30 years of the loan. So that's become very popular. Many buyers are doing that. Probably the majority are doing that at this time. Another option that's become popular is a program called a 2-to-1 Buydown, which would allow somebody to take a 30-year mortgage. The first year, the rate gets bought down by 2%. So let's say a 7% rate becomes a 5% rate for that first year. The second year is fixed at 6%, and then years 3 through 30 are fixed at 7%. So it's not an adjustable rate mortgage. You know right from the beginning what your rate always will be, but it makes the home more affordable during those initial 2 years.
Okay, and what are the fees for that?
The fees, it depends on the loan size and the person's credit, so it's difficult to answer that, but it's negotiated into the contract as a seller paid expense.
Oh, okay. So does it have to be seller paid, or can it be also paid by the buyer?
It has to be seller paid.
Oh, okay. So that is actually also an option for the seller to make his home more attractive by offering the 2-to-1 buy down option.
That's right. And so in this market, the sellers are willing to contribute more to help sell their home. And so that is something sellers can do to market their home more to buyers.
So do you have concrete numbers for, let's say, a $500,000 home with a 20% down payment, what the 2-to-1 buy down option would mean? So
the first year payment with the 2-to-1 buy down, the principal and interest payment would be $2,210 plus taxes and insurance. So that would get the payment roughly to about $3,000.
Okay, with taxes, insurance, and HOA fees, which of course depend also a little bit on the area. Yeah.
Correct. And then the second year payment would increase about $250.
Okay.
And then the same thing for the third year.
Okay.
So that would get it up to $2,720 plus taxes and insurance.
Yeah. And if you consider a $500,000 home, then that is probably a 3-bedroom, maybe 3+ den. You would be renting this here in Ave Maria for about $2,900. So you're almost at the same height with $3,200. So it seems like this is a good option for the beginning, because you are actually putting the money down into your home instead of really paying 100% of interest on your rental.
That's right. And then you don't have to worry about the rents fluctuating. You know what your payment's going to be.
That's true.
Yeah. And many people like this option because the idea is that eventually rates will drop. And so you'll have the opportunity to refinance to a lower rate down the line.
What would be the fee more or less for refinancing for a loan like that?
The cost here in Florida with the transfer taxes, it's probably costs $6,000. So roughly 2 months rent to refinance your home.
To have your own home.
To have your own home. Yeah.
So for this specific loan, if the buyer would like to go with a 2-to-1 buy down option, what would be the fees involved for the seller?
Yeah, so it depends on the loan size and the credit, but on this scenario, we're looking at approximately a $10,000 seller concession that would need to be made.
That sounds like a good option because it sounds like basically it would be the offered price minus the $10,000. So that sounds like a great option, especially right now in this market that's cooled down a lot.
Yeah, and in this market, the buyers and the sellers have the time to negotiate and
Yes.
kind of work through these scenarios to find something that benefits both parties.
True. Are there any kind of programs, assistance programs that you have for buyers?
Yeah, so in Florida, there's what's called the Florida Hometown Heroes, which is down payment assistance from the state of Florida. It's for specific professionals, the essential workers such as teachers, nurses, other medical professionals, police, firefighters, veterans. The state of Florida will contribute up to $25,000, which can be used towards down payment and closing costs. It's essentially an interest-free loan from the government to help cover those costs.
Awesome. Do you have to have any other qualification besides belonging to one of those groups?
You need your certification for that profession, and then you need to qualify for the first mortgage from the lender.
Oh, okay, perfect. What other options do buyers have in this market?
Sure. So one thing that's becoming popular again now is for first-time home buyers, we do have a lot of low down payment loans available, such as you can do conventional loans with 3 or 5% down, FHA loans with 3.5% down. And for a period of time, it was challenging for buyers to get those offers accepted. But now that the market's shifted, sellers are much more open to that.
Yes.
So that's something favorable for home buyers now.
Yeah, so basically it would be great to just contact your mortgage loan originator and work through various options of financing and see what can work for you.
Absolutely.
Where do the experts see the future of the interest rates?
Yeah, so I don't believe there's any experts, unfortunately, that think interest rates are going back to the 2s or 3%. A lot of experts are now saying that they expect rates to remain higher for longer. I have heard some experts say that in the second half of next year, the second half of 2023, that rates may start to drop at that time.
Okay. So that seems like it would be a good option to have something like, for example, the 2-2-1 Buydown option that would lower your interest rate for the first 2 years, and then you would be maybe able to refinance.
Yeah, that's the idea. And that's where having a loan officer, you can run through these different scenarios because what's right for one client is not necessarily the right thing for the next one. So it's good to go through all of those options.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mark. I will post Mark's contact info in the description below. Please reach out to him. I have worked quite a bit with him. He's been pleasant and really, really professional. Saved a lot of transactions that would have gone maybe the wrong way. I've heard from title companies great compliments, so my customers too.
Thank you.
So
Thank
much.
you so much, Marta.
God bless you.
God bless you.